What's up, you lovely fucking specimen? And this is what it be, Izuku, Midoriya, or Deku, whatever the fuck I feel like, right? Most likely, Deku. What if Deku basically, let's say, was isekai? So basically, yeah, we see a 5-year-old Deku and he's in the doctor's office. And, no, a 4-year-old Deku, and he's within the doctor's office, being told that he is completely worthless and quirkless. As soon as Deku gets home, his mother thinks that he requires some space, and she'll just comfort him an hour later. But when she doesn't hear even the slightest noise coming from anywhere within the house, she goes to check up on him. And there he is, hanging from a ceiling as he spins around, dead. She calls the cops and they rush. The cops completely rush. Moments before, why is my life just so evil? Why? Why am I weak? He said. Why can't I at least learn things fast? New skill unlocked. Extreme learner. I mean, if I was like that, then I could become the greatest scientist in the world and create inventions powerful enough to rival even All Might's quirk. Ability. Genius. Unlocked. And if I even had the ability to shoot lightning out of my hands, that would be cool. And maybe some blue flames. And even heat resistance. And maybe heat resistance. I want every single resistance in the book. I want my quirk to be so powerful that I could destroy planets at full strength. Ability unlocked. Grand Sage. Ability unlocked. Omni resistance. Ability unlocked. Incredible protege. Ability unlocked. Thermal resistance. Ability unlocked. Complete lightning manipulation. Ability unlocked. Grand. Ability unlocked. God Killer. Ability unlocked. Planet Destroyer. Ability combination. Universal Protege. Ability unlocked. Omni Protege. Ability unlocked. Ability unlocked. Grand Lightning Manipulation. Ability unlocked. Lightning Armor Manipulation. Ability unlocked. Element Control. Ability unlocked. Grand Elemental Control. Ability unlocked. As basically Deku then just yells, "Shut up!" As he keeps on hearing his voice within his head. Ability unlocked. Universal Speech. Ability unlocked. Translate. Ability unlocked. Writer. Ability unlocked. As then his vision fades. I wish I was a god. Ability unlocked. Great god. Planet Yo. Rebirth. Deku opened up his eyes in shock as he thought he was just dying to see that he was within a forest with millions of abilities. Deku asks, I guess I'm reborn. I'm alive again. Hopefully I have the ability to train. Hopefully I have a quirk in this life. You don't have a quirk, but something similar, a voice says. As then, Deku's saying, oh, I forgot. Ability unlocked. Element creation. Who are you? I am Zenith. I am your guide within your second life. The rebirth menu. If you want a projection of myself to be shown, just say so. As Deku and thanks. Projection. Then a white man with completely black hair is in front of Deku as he has a bat over his shoulder. Is this form good enough for you, punk? As then Deku says, form change. As then he turns into a man who has like basically he basically looks like a gangster. He's like, is this form good enough for you, pussy? Then he like, form change. As then it's now a woman with long white hair that stretched down towards the ground as she slightly floats. She has pretty much completely black eyes and her skin is pale with two horns protruding out of her head. Is this form suitable? Sure, Naruto said. Deku said. So, what are my abilities? First, you have complete elemental control, but it only works for both fire and ice. Since you didn't ask for any other abilities. You also have the ability to breathe. You also have the ability where you do not require breath. You have Great Sage, which allows you to learn at speeds which are magnificent. And you have immense wisdom. You have other abilities, but I don't think that you want to hear those. You're right. So is this some type of isekai or something? Excuse me while I search up what is isekai. As then the person stands still completely. Yes, this is similar towards an isekai. Oh, that's cool. So I get like some badass abilities. Like, as then he lifted up his hand. You said I have fire manipulation, right? Like, how does this abilities work in this world? Just imagine it. Alright? Grand Firebomb! He yells out, sending out a small ball of fire. What? As as he falls on his head. So what's up with that? You're only level 1. Alright, so how do I get levels? Fight strong opponents. Alright. So I wanna ask you a question. Like how do I age? This time is around the time on this world is around a day within your world equals to about a year within this world. But you will be aging according to Sector Z97, which means a day, which means, which means a year within this world would equal an hour. So, yeah. So, compared to your world, how events will play out here is by the time that you would hit 9, no, 14 within your other world, which I've calculated possible scenarios in the original scenario, most of the things will happen then. But from now, it will be around almost 90,000 years before you hit the age of 14 in terms of your other world. Alright. Deku said, so I'll train my ass off. We then skip around. We skip around 60,000 years. And I did not think of how that would translate, so fuck y'all and fuck everyone else. But Naruto is Deku's base now within this point 60,004 years old. Yeah, he looked the age of around 10. So it's kind of a lolly. He's kind of a lolly, but he's not a girl. Anyway, so yeah. In a small village near Naruto. Grand Fireball Jutsu! Grand Fireball, Deku said, as then he launched a powerful fireball, which was around the size of 13 moons. No. Small fireball. No. Deku said, as he unleashed a fireball the size of around 13 moons. Then he pulled out his blade and then disappeared, slicing directly through it, causing the air to push whoever his opponent, to push, causing the air within the middle where his sword had sliced through to be as cold as basically South America, South Arctica, the South Arctic, and basically, no, this Antarctica, North Arctica. I don't know what the fuck, I forgot their names. Basically, oh yeah, basically the South Pole, and further up to be as hot, to be literally as hot as 13 suns. So yeah, it's really hot. I will begin the massacre, Deku said as he began to walk to a village nearby. Because Deku's massive amount of training, shortages among food had happened. But this had happened for basically 6,000 years now. 60,000 years now. So everybody is just okay with it. Look. So yeah, they have learned to survive. As basically Deku begins to walk into the village, 13 men are in front of him. Who are you? Deku quickly rips out his blade at top speeds. At this point, he has already hit level 10,000. Oh, level 2 million. And basically, with the leveling system, pretty much think about it. Like the leveling system is different from the normal. In their world, the highest person who's ever lived that they know of was pretty much level 2,000. So that says something. And that guy could wipe out planets, entire planets by himself. Naruto is level 2. No, entire nations by himself. Naruto is a different breed, though. Who are you? Deku said, looking towards them. Then he disappeared, slicing one of them in half. Then he quickly blocked an attack from one of them. Then he punched through the blade. Then he spun the blade around his arm, being super careful, slicing off on the heads. As this was around 4 people dead. So he was wailing on them. And then he disappeared. The other one yelled out, "Majestic flame!" as he unleashed a massive fireball. He was at least level 20. He was at least level 40. So Deku just sliced the flames up almost as if cake. Then he disappeared, slicing his leg off. Then he came down with immense power, slicing him in half. And by the way, in this day and era, at this point in time, the highest level currently is around 400. So yeah. After he was done, all of them were dead. And then he resheathed his blade as he continued to walk. "Hey, who are you?" one of the guards said as he was guarding his village. Then he was like, "How did you get through Risan?" No. "How did you get through Oni-chan and the others?" As then he saw something. Off of Naruto's hilt, blood was slightly dripping. "You killed them?" As he yelled out with fury as he flew towards Naruto with a level equivalent to 100. "Die, you bastard!" As he tried to slice Deku. Deku stopped his blade, then he shifted it over his back. Then he quickly sliced his head off, decapitating him. Then he quickly placed his blade back in the sheath. "Raikimaru, you want to send?" As he dropped the sandwich within his hand, he saw his friend's body dropping towards the ground. And Deku just there, looking at him with a bored expression. As Deku continued to walk, as he pulled out his blade. "You know why I'm here? Because I want this to be a massacre. You know, 60,000 years of finding love after love, then they all die on you. When you realize the average life expectancy is 40, you lose a lot of love and you become heartless. Then you get pushed into war constantly because of your immense power. War, 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 war after war, taking others' loved ones, killing people, all because they wouldn't listen. I fought many wars. In fact, to be exact, almost 2,000 of them. Fought over my power. I keep on changing my name, but yet it doesn't change. They always just come for me and come for me. So at this point, I believe annihilation is the only way. Insolent fools like you need to face annihilation. They need to die by my blade. They need to feel pain. Otherwise, I can't feel satisfaction. My soul has burnt out. I can't even breathe anymore without feeling pain. I can't even live without others coming after everything that I've had. Everything. Even my wife, my multiple wives. The first one, she didn't care. She didn't care about the fact that I was 40 years old and looked like a little man. She only cared that I had this pipe and I was good company. That's what they all felt like, and yet they always die in the face of war because of war. So I will annihilate everyone. That is the only way. I've thought about it for the last 20,000 years. I've trained. Do you feel my pain? You can't feel it. You don't know what it feels like to have to chalk up your partner's life expectancy. You don't know how it feels just to think I only have one more day or one more year with my love. You don't understand. You never did. You're the same village that killed my lover. You're the same ones. Even though you're descendants of him, I don't care. I will just kill you. And your death is imminent. As he disappeared, slicing off his leg, then sliced off his head, then sliced off his arm, then he pierced his heart, pulling out his blade, rapidly slicing him into bits. As he threw his blade down, getting the blood off of it, he then sheathed his blade. She jumped up. Perfect flame massacre as he shot, as he yelled out, no, weakened fireball, as he shot out a fireball the size of the village. But in terms of density, it had the density of almost 4,000 of those villages the same size. And then he stopped it. She saw a little girl playing within the field. She stopped it. She looked forward. Hey, who are you? The girl said. As Naruto felt instantly, he felt almost instantly charmed by the little girl. She reminded him of his 140th daughter, a younger version of her, when she was a little child before They killed her. And then Deku got towards the ground. Hey, little girl, where's your mom and father? Daddy left, but mommy's still here. Daddy was gonna give Uncle Rico a sandwich. As then, Deku's eyes opened wide. He had just killed a girl's father. He drew his blade instantly. I'm sorry, but you and your mother and your father will soon be together in the afterlife. And he sliced her cap off. Now she looked like Bobby Smurder. Then he disappeared, slaughtering everyone within the village. Even though this was a small village, it was known for its overwhelming power because of people who were commonly born within there, who trained and got to the level 100. But the usual power cap for the village was 120. That was the last level that anyone within the village had ever reached, and the most strongest people. Who are you? The village chief yelled out. My village! You're gonna die! As he then disappeared, as he went in for a massive kick towards Naruto. Naruto grabbed onto his leg as then the villager felt the power. With that one grab, he had destroyed his entire leg. And it didn't even seem as if he was trying. The villager jumped back as he punched his leg off with enough force to slice in half a boulder. As he yelled out, ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna watch that later. He yelled out, limb regeneration! As then his limb grew back. Then he jumped back. You demon! You know, at one point in time, I was called a demon. Let me tell you about a story about a man who couldn't age fast enough, who wouldn't age fast enough. Flashback. First Grand War. Naruto was confronted by the king of the time. Who are you? As the king's daughter said, he's my soon-to-be husband. We've been hanging out and having fun for the last few days, and we've actually been seeing. We've made our dating official a couple of months ago, and we've been seeing each other for like 2 years. And I'm sure that I truly love him, Dad, and I hope that you can accept it.
Yeah, nah, fat nigga eat a bird.
Then the king said, nonsense! My daughter is far too young for a woman. My daughter is far too young for a man. And you're not even of noble status.
Your man's is mine.
Oh, really? Naruto, Deku said while pulling out his blade. I think that my power will make up for that. I'm level 40,000.
Psych Allah. Yeah, man.
Then the man opened up his eyes. You're lying. Plus, why would you want to date a young man? He doesn't even look like he's, 7 years old? He looks more like he's 5. Trust me, I've lived for a lot longer than just 5 years. As a matter of fact, I've lived for almost 20,000. For almost 5,000 years. If you've lived for that long, then let's see your strength. Jeremy. As then a man walked in as he held the blade. You'll be fighting Jeremy, and along with the rest of the royal knights. If you can beat them, then I'll think about you dating my daughter. Naruto then smiled. This'll be a massacre. What should I do? Should I kill them or should I use a wooden sword? No killing, only submission. Alright. As then, Deku picked up a very, 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 very dull sword that was actually made out of wood. This should be good enough not to kill you. You're arrogant. I like that. But let's see if your arrogance is rightful. As then he flew towards Naruto. Naruto quickly moved up his wooden blade, stopping him. As Deku realized that he had an actual sword. As Deku quickly blew past that, then he struck him in the stomach, mistakenly slicing his stomach. As he sliced almost completely through his stomach. Then he disappeared, slicing a man in half. Then he sliced through another man by mistake. It was a massacre, truly. Naruto was not even using an actual blade, but he was slicing through them. And at that, the blade was very dull. So his slicing force had to be immense. As he sliced through one of them. He had already sliced through 14 of them. 14 of them out of the 42. Plus the 42. He already sliced through 14 out of the 42. And that doesn't include who his name was. I forgot. So he disappeared. So it was like 43 men in total. Then Deku yelled out, "First cut." As he thrust his blade forward. Then all of his opponents were sliced through completely in half. That's my strength, my lord.
That's what I like.
My grandchildren will be magnificent. Their power will reach into the beyond. Yes, you can date my daughter, young man, he said while looking at Deku.
Come on down to the butterbone.
He said while looking at Deku, basically. As Deku smirked. I guess I am suited for you. Then he walked up towards her. Around 4 months later.
As
after their most recent war, which Naruto won alone as he charged into battle, wiping out an entire country's forces. This brought to the notification of the other forces. So they sent out their strongest men. 4 p.m. No. 2 a.m. in the morning. The king heard a massive explosion. So did Naruto and the princess as they got up. As they walked outside and saw that their kingdom was being destroyed. As Deku then looked around. 20,000, no 60,000, no 100,000, no 1 million. As he looked on in fear. 1 million men? What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, what we supposed to do, brother?
As then the king said, Deku, deal with this. I'll try my best, my king. And then he disappeared, fighting with them, wiping out a total of
I'll try my best, my king.
400,000 men. Before he fell towards the ground in exhaustion, almost. Yeah, so basically, basically, Deku was on the edge of death, as then one of the soldiers looked down at him in pity, and with a massive smile on his face. Then he looked towards Deku. Is she familiar? He said, while looking down at Deku as he held the princess with a knife at her throat. Then he slit it in front of Deku's eyes, making Deku roar out in anger. You're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die! He yelled out. Then a massive boost of energy began to flow into his body. New ability unlocked. Rage boost. Naruto got up and then he slayed almost 80% of the forces, leaving them with only 200,000 men as he flew through them like a dog, a tiger, an animal, floating on rage as he wiped out the generals of armies. Within mere seconds, he annihilated his opponents. Ever since that day, he was declared a demon, a man who wiped out a single nation alone, who wiped out the forces of almost all of the nations. Even though back then the forces were low on men compared to their current amounts, it was still a lot. He slaughtered 1 million men. And generals and warlords. He had wiped them all out. He was a force to be reckoned with. For that, he was revered and feared, as he was called either demon, war demon, or war no kami, or war god. as he was basically was envied across the nation. So everyone tried to look for descendants of him. And anyone who they found looked remotely like him. So basically, since people looked remotely like him, which is the reason why he was constantly attacked, basically. Back to the main canon. Deku flew towards basically his opponent. This will be fun. As then he disappeared. As he was behind him now, he placed his blade within the sheath. Rest in peace. And that's going to be the end of this fucking 40-minute video? Yeah, 41 minutes.